Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Buddies on Buddies, the show with two real life buddies talking about buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane.
Lucas Hill.
Here we are again for you. You
Yep.
demanded it.
Why don't you shut up about it?
Listen to Lucas. He knows what he's talking about. How you doing, Lucas? How's it been? Hey, it's this week was had a couple big things. We had a Super Bowl Sunday and Valentine's Day. How was your Super Bowl Sunday?
It was good. I watched it at a friend's house. Pretty big
Yeah,
party, nothing
yeah,
crazy. Not like the Hollywood parties I'm used to,
yeah, yeah,
but pretty good for an Arizona Super Bowl party, I'd say.
yeah. Were you into either the either team, Chiefs or Niners?
No, I was really, when I get around a lot of people, I'm just way more focused on the social aspect. I watch the game and everything, but when I watch the game by myself, like any game, I'm like,
Yeah.
crazy. But I'm around other people, I'm like, what joke is coming next from the old Lucas? Or like,
Everyone
am I
gather
embarrassing
around.
myself? Am I embarrassing myself?
It's my time to MC, baby. I'm not going to waste it fucking watching a fucking game,
This shit's bullshit. Hey, you guys want to hear a new one? Everybody cheers.
Someone breaks the TV, like, fuck it.
How about
Yeah,
you? How was your Super Bowl Sunday?
it was pretty good. Megan was here, her mom's, and my uncle came down from Eastern Oregon. And he's actually heard about this show through my relatives or something. And I don't know if he's ever watched it, but he was kind of insistent that me and him should start a podcast. And I was trying to kind of, okay. But I'm not sure if he knows what a podcast is because he was like, he doesn't have a computer,
Yeah.
so that's kind of a hard thing to start a podcast with. He lives, in Eastern Oregon, and he was asking questions like, so what commercials do we do, and stuff like that. And I was like, well, we don't have to really worry about the commercial aspect. We have zero, viewers.
This is your uncle?
Yeah, he's 71.
Oh, okay. Well, even for 71, he sounds like kind of an idiot.
Well, I know I'd defend him if I could, but I can't. I don't want to. So
I'm sure he's a great guy.
yeah, he's
But
that guy.
we should bring him on one time. Just have him guest spot. We've never had
Again, he can't, doesn't have a phone, computer, smartphone, doesn't really know what a, podcast is. I think he just joined Facebook like last week.
So you can just call him and go talk to him for about 20 minutes. Go, that's been our podcast. And then you're done.
Anytime I want to connect to him, okay, and go. We're done. I also asked him what the concept was. Like, what's the concept of our show? He didn't seem to know what that would be or what a concept is.
But you love a guy who's raring to go, though, right? Just
I love the enthusiasm, though.
yeah. It's a lot like people in the entertainment industry or creatives, even I was very much like this, where like, I just got to do this and this, and then the world's going to open up for me. It's like, no, you have to go work and get experience and learn what this is, whether you're going to be on the below the line, writer, actor, whatever. Like, you can't just do nothing and sit in your street and go, now my podcast, it's like, takes a lot of work and research in every field,
Like AC/DC says, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. How about Valentine's Day? You and married anything nice?
Well, no, we're not teenagers, so we just, I bought her a little something, box of chocolates or whatever, and we hung out and we watched the first episode of the Roots reboot from 2016.
There's a Roots reboot?
Well, it's a mini series they did in 2016 on History Channel, like Forrest Whitaker and Lawrence Fishburne and whatever, like bigger budget.
Like a remake of the original miniseries?
Yeah, it's more of a remake of the miniseries than it is an adaptation of the book, but it's fine.
Okay. I didn't know that existed. Hey, learn something new every day.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to make a new one anytime soon because I didn't know it existed until I started reading the book. And I was like, I wonder. And they're like, oh, there's a new one.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they make all these stupid changes from the book, like where I understand you have to make changes, but so many times, like, why did you make that change? Though? I'm just curious, like, what?
Money, baby. Money.
They got to get that Roots money.
Yeah.
But no, it was low key. What did you do?
Well, pretty low key. Megan was working pretty much all day to the night. So was I. We both had busy days. So we were gonna do something like walk on the beach or do something like that, but it was raining really hard, so I just got some Chinese takeout and just cuddled in and watched Love Story. That's one of the movies I've seen recently. Yeah, I think it went off like you. I think you saw that a year or two ago, and actually kind of said it wasn't bad.
With O'Neill.
Yep, Ryan O'Neal and Ali McGraw. Yeah,
Yeah,
70s.
no, I thought it was. I like spoiler alert, but I like the twist where you think he's going to die the whole time, and then she dies and he lives.
Hmm,
Like
what's the
but
twist there?
well, it's just like you expect the Mel to die, and then she dies, and a
Mhm.
little bit of a surprise if you don't know anything about the movie, which I didn't. And they were good leads, convincing leads. You know, I could buy them as buy him as a leading man, and it did make him a leading man. You know, it was a
Yeah,
huge hit, and teenagers
yeah.
loved it and shit. So, what did you think?
Well, I thought it's one of those like I thought the dialogue was like awful and the performances were like okay and like yeah, the story wasn't that interesting, but for some reason there's just certain movies that hit at a certain time and it's still sort of compelling like today. Like I wasn't bored like watching it. I could see how it became such a phenomenon back in the day. So I can see why people think it's like a stupid, shitty movie, but I also can see why it was such a hit back in the day because there is something about it that's
It is
there. I don't know.
it is very close to made for TV movie, but if you're watching it, you like you said, you're going to be entertained for whatever the fucking reason. There's not
Yeah,
much to the movie, but for some reason it just works and fires on all cylinders. And
yeah.
yeah, you know. So
Sometimes that happens. You don't know what the fuck's going on, but it just becomes a Zig heist or whatever they call
I don't know a lot of the Nazi terms you're familiar with. So what
it.
movie are we doing tonight? What buddy
Well,
actually?
we're going to be doing Midnight Runners, the 2017 film from South Korea. Let me get this right. It's directed by Joo Hwan Kim and starring Park Seun Joon and Kang Ha Nu.
Nailed it
Yeah,
again.
butchered that, whatever. Yeah.
And before we get into Midnight Runners, I know we talked about Love Story, but is there any other movie you watch you want to talk about?
Well, I haven't been to the theater in a couple weeks since Beekeeper, but well, I haven't seen anything new. But I did see a film I wanted to discuss because it's a very important film. It's the 1996 made for HBO film, The Cherokee Kid, starring Sinbad.
I vaguely remember that actually. You know, I had HBO. I didn't have a lot to do. My parents weren't
Yeah.
around. I do vaguely remember that. What did you think about it? The Cherokee
Well,
starring Sinbad, the HBO movie from '96.
starring Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Well, I mostly wanted to see it because Burt Reynolds has a supporting role in it
Doesn't
as Otter
Sinbad
Bob.
almost have like a peach outfit in that, right?
So, yeah, kind of like a mountain man wearing a peach outfit. Oh, Sinbad. I mean,
Yeah.
Sinbad has like at one point wearing like a peach shirt or something. It's fucking terrible. I thought it was really bad. Sinbad was a movie star, kind of there for a minute there in the mid '90s. But yeah, it's not funny. He's not funny. The story is really stupid and boring, and even though it's a western and all stuff, it was pretty hard to sit through. Shockingly.
That's a shame. I saw something I want to talk about with you. You haven't seen it yet, I highly doubt, but the Iron Claw. I'm looking
Oh
for
yeah, see it yet?
yeah, yeah. Just because
Yeah.
of the wrestling aspect of it, naturally, you might even know something about these guys' lives. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
almost loved it. I liked it a lot though, and it's still a really good movie. But like, it is because I love tragedy porn. You know,
Yeah, that story is. I don't know what the point of it would be to tell it because it is just fucking. It's a really bummer
I
of a
don't want to
Bible.
get into too many spoilers, but that's where I was disappointed. It wasn't tragedy porn enough for me.
Oh, it wasn't fucking sad enough? More people didn't commit suicide and die for
Yeah, I
you?
was like, oh, come on. Fucking and I can't
Have
wait.
the dad kill the son. Come on, we've been building up to it.
It's a true life story. Just tell the true life story. We don't need any of this other bullshit you're putting in. I want the tragedy. You know.
Well, that's a one fucked up family, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those stories too. It's like what to take away from it. I don't know.
You're just supposed to enjoy the tragedy and be like, oh, I'm glad I didn't have to live through that.
Just cry and bathe in your tears and just be like, this is what I paid money for, baby.
Yeah, baby, this is what I paid money for.
Exactly.
How did your dry January go? I don't think we've done this since the end of January, or did we do one?
It went good. I mean, actually, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, or I guess it was building up or something. And it's it's nice just to reassess your relationship with alcohol. I guess that's kind of the point of it. So I liked it. That was good. Uh, my uncle again, when he came to visit, he was like, "So you quit drinking for a month? You know, that's amazing. You know, how'd you do that?" And he's supposedly been sober for like 15 years, but just recently fell off the wagon. You know, but he kept asking. So I was like, "Well, wait a minute. You were sober for 15 years supposedly, and now you're just blown away by my 1 month." Like, anyway, there's some hinky shit going on there. But anyway, enough about my uncle. How about you? How was a dry January for you?
It was fine. We didn't technically do a dry January. I didn't tell you that because I didn't want you to get off the wagon or something. We were doing
What do
it.
you mean you didn't technically do a dry January?
Well, we had
Drank
planned to do.
some.
No, we plan to do a low key drinking for the first quarter of the year, January, February, March. So because we did dry January last year, so we just wanted to make sure.
You did drink during January?
Very rarely, like I counted my drinking stuff, like and only for
Yeah.
special occasions and stuff. And then we're keeping that going in February through March. We wanted to do a whole quarter, but instead of like doing completely teetotaling, because that's how you crash and burn trying to do shit. There's a whole book on habits we read and shit. So we're just trying to
Okay.
come back, but
I'm thinking this is how was your dry January? Mine was good too. I did drink though during it, so wasn't technically dry, but you know,
if I had never done it before, it'd be different. But I have done it before, so I
hey,
wanted
you
you to
rewrite the rules any way you want, man. You know, go for
look. I'm an alcoholic. Okay,
it. We just established that big time.
my doctor said if I do another dry January, my heart ain't gonna survive it.
Everyone in my family's gonna die if I stop.
But no, it's fine.
Well, all right. So this week,
Hey, did you see Society of the Snow yet?
no, what is that?
It's the Spanish movie. It's Alive. Remember Alive with Ethan Hawke?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same story, but done with from a Spanish director with Spanish actors. You know, it's on
Oh, so you were like
Netflix.
Portuguese rugby players or something, right? Or
Yeah, good. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's really good. And I highly suggest it. If you're like me, I grew up on Alive. For whatever reason, it's one of those movies that was on all the time,
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid in front of the TV. So when it
Oh
started,
yeah, and my friends around I was like, "Do you guys want to get high and watch Alive?" It's the best.
no, it was on all the time. I've seen that movie countless times. It's not like I kept renting Alive over and over again.
Not to well, fuck it, yeah, but you know that part in Alive when they finally start to decide to eat the guy, the first guy, and he just cuts like right into his ass. You know, would you cut right into an ass? Like what part? If you were like, "All right, we got to fucking eat this guy," what part would you cut?
That's a joke from Cannibal the Musical. I don't know. I wanted.
That's a joke from Cannibal the Musical.
Yeah, when they're finally eating, he's like, "Hey, you want a piece of this?" Like, "Yeah, I want a piece, but not from the ass." He's like,
Well, yeah, they're referencing that. They're probably referencing that movie.
I know, but what I'm saying, the joke's already been done. So what are we doing? We're doing Matt Stone and Trey Parker jokes now.
No, I'm asking you, what part of the thing would you? What part of the person would you cut into?
Kenny, if I'm starving to death, I don't fucking care. I'll eat eyeballs. I'll eat straight into the head. I don't give a shit. Dead's dead.
All right,
What
all
part
right.
do you
Well,
like?
the cheek.
The face cheek?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, like in a bar fight, people get their cheeks bitten off anyway. You know, you're
You know,
saying,
it's
well,
just
yeah,
like-
cheek.
Man, that looks scrumptious.
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to taste the smiles.
I want to taste them smiles, baby.
I suggest the movie though, especially if you're familiar with Alive like I am. It's like the first half hour, 45 minutes. I was like, well, this is just a remake with like, but then it gets much more horrific. You know, it makes the American version seem like what an inspirational story, and like this one's like, oh shit, this is horrifying. This would suck.
Even more like gritty and like
Yeah.
terrifying. So, well, all right.
All right, on to Midnight Runners.
What'd you think of Midnight Runners overall?
Weird. Not a dislike. It's a weird movie, and I'll get into more of that later. Didn't dislike it. Had a lot going for it. There's a weirdness to it. So yeah, really weird line between cute and Jesus Christ. Like it's a fucking weird movie. What did you think?
I didn't think it was that weird, like compared to like something like Freebie the Bean or something. But like, I mean, there's some things that we lost in translation a bit with these like foreign films. It's not like so I give them a little like slack on the weirdness factor, like RRR or something. I think though the humor doesn't really translate a lot. There's something lost there.
I should have prefaced it. It's not weird that, oh shit, that's weird. Some of their choices are very misguided for the tone they set out and established pretty well.
I don't know. I thought the tone was pretty. They mixed the like action with like. I mean, it wasn't like awesome action, but I thought like the tone with the kind of joke, the silliness mixed in with like the real drama. I thought that had a pretty good tone there as far as blending the two. I didn't find it jarring anyway.
I guess I don't have to be coy with this. My issue is with like it sets up this really charming, cute tone. You like the 2 guys for the most part. It's kind of fun. And then
trafficking.
Yeah, and then women trafficking and we're stealing their eggs, but you can rape them too. You know, it's like Jesus fucking Christ. Like
I was laughing my ass off during that shit, man. Like, what's your problem?
I don't know, cheek biter. I was just fucking weird. That's all. But overall, what'd you think? Like, now that we got that out of the way, did you like the movie?
I liked it okay. I liked it fine. You know, I guess I had maybe higher expectations or something because we've been watching a lot of maybe so-so ones, and I was like, okay, this has got good reviews. It's from its forum. This should be, you know, good. Actually pops up with the first things when I Google like buddy action comedies, it like comes up a lot. So I thought it was well made. It's for these kinds of movies. It's a, you know, pretty good one, solid one. I was not like particularly blown away by it. You know, I thought it was fine. I wasn't super bored. I was entertained. I wanted to know what happened next. So I wasn't, you know, detached from it or anything, but yeah, the humor didn't really do it for me. And the action, while being good, it's mostly just fighting. I don't think there's any gunplay.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to have like it's like a dude, where's my car? Like after midnight for a buddy action comedy, where for the most part it takes place over like one night, and that's where the action and the buddy elements come through. You don't see that very often, so I appreciate that as a buddy action comedy connoisseur that I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is adorable. They're so cute. The 2 leads together. Oh my God, they're so cute. Put them on cover of magazines. Teenage girls are gonna eat them up. And then it's just like straight into the woman violence. I'm like, Jesus, fuck. It's whiplash is what it is. Wow. And I know you get that a lot with a lot of Korean and Japanese films and Chinese films, but this was kind of notable. I don't know. It felt like they should have been chasing like a kidnapped dog ring, you know, like
yeah,
real heavy.
I don't know, like the goofy villains and stuff. That's definitely been more apparent, like in the last couple decades of like buddy action comedies. They can't be too scary or too fucked up. They've got to be kind of like dumbasses themselves, and everything's got to be kind of cartoonish. I kind of like the days of like 48 Hours and Stakeout, where like the bad guys really are these like psychos and shit doing some fucked up shit. So I kind of like that.
That's fine, but you can't have it both ways because now these guys are way too.
All those 48 Hours and stuff did, and it worked. And all
I'm sorry, Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy's relationship wasn't cute. He's dropping the N-bomb.
I thought it was adorable. They had nicknames for each other and everything.
And then it delves into the bureaucracy of the justice system and how it's all broken and you can't really save anybody. Like it goes deep into that. It's like this is a little too much. Like I want them to save a dog who is going to be the next king of some obscure country. You know, that's what lay the table for.
I want the stakes being high. I want people to fucking be dying and getting their eggs ripped out and sold on the black market. I want some serious stakes. I want a fucking missing dog or some shit.
It would be like if Shanghai Noon did that shit, you know?
Yes, it would have elevated Shanghai Noon too in my book.
And real quick, just a little detour. Can we get an update on how you feel about what's going on in the Middle East and the violence there, Kenny?
What are you talking about?
Well, just Israel, Gaza, Hamas, Lebanon. What are your thoughts about?
What's Israel?
What?
My friend Carrie Israel? What's Israel?
Okay. Thought we could just liven this up a little bit, a little headier.
Oh, you're trying to get into a tense political discussion? What I think is basically that like the Palestine-Israel conflict, I think it's mostly Palestine's fault. Yeah. And I can see why Israel doesn't want to live next door to them.
I thought the score was kind of funny in this movie. It was kind of distracting, but
that's a pretty flippant response to war, Lucas.
It was. what are you talking about? We're doing buddy action comedy movies. Okay.
Then why'd you ask a very tense political question just to make things tense?
I know because a part of me hoped you had evolved past your libertarian website commenting bullshit, and I guess I was wrong.
Oh,
I guess I was wrong. But anyway,
and I had to have him attack because he doesn't actually have any views on it.
I don't
Like, well, you're an idiot. That's the next thing. So no, what are your views on it?
I have views on this score because I don't normally catch the score. Right now,
He doesn't have any views on it. He just wants to call me out.
Kenny, this is a buddy action comedy video podcast.
And why do you ask political questions for no reason?
It wasn't a political. I was just thinking what you thought, and I got my answer. Now I'm talking. I'm back to the podcast.
What do you think about it? Since we're on the subject,
Kenny, my opinion doesn't.
He won't say. He doesn't have any. He doesn't have any thoughts on it.
I am the host. You are the color commentator. You.
That's not how it is.
Very loudly vocalized
your
opinion.
Spoiler alert! Lucas is going to ask me like a tense question, political question at the end of the show. That he's going to cut away. That's his shtick.
Look, I didn't know you felt this strongly about it. I wouldn't have brought it up. Anyway, the score of this movie. Did you?
Very good score. Very good score. I love
this. It's kind of like a cheesy, funny thing, and it popped up a lot. Normally, I don't notice scores, as we've talked about. And there was also really frustrating, like why they wouldn't call the police when they first find the lair. They have cell phones. They've established that. Why aren't they immediately calling?
I think they have a line or two about that. That was like,
later, but they could have.
We can't call them because it'll take them forever to get here or something like that.
I hate that. Call the police and then write yourself out of that corner. Don't rely on phones not working. Same thing with like every horror movie,
Yeah. Well, other things about this movie, like I noticed between this and the movie Miss and Mrs. Cops, that they like. I guess you can just beat suspects. It's the cop. You suspects that just grab them and just start beating the shit out of them and questioning them. I guess police torture there is not not an issue.
It could just be a different thing. I don't know enough about it to comment on that. But like as an American or Western audience, it's like, you can't do that. It's like, well, maybe you can. I don't know. Like maybe they're just more aggressive there, The main bad guy's pretty intimidating. He was pretty formidable, the big tall guy.
Yeah, I liked the main bad guy. That was good. Yeah, they established him and stuff, but the fighting got a little repetitive, or so repetitive to me. Like just they, keep getting up and they get up and get up, and a lot of the kung fu stuff they said they're going for kind of a reality thing. Like the guys get kicked in the head like 10 times or some shit. They keep getting up and getting up, and it's just this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I wrote here the action is okay, but it's not a selling point. It's not enough to carry it. And there's hardly any action in the first half. Second half, there's a lot of action. It's just not good enough,
Yeah.
The pacing really falls off once they have this huge search of issue. We have to find the girls or whatever. And it's like, let's stop the entire movie. Let's go back to school. Let's have a long ass training montage. And then like it just completely derails the narrative momentum. And then they call the lady and she gives them a hot tip and then they head out again. But it was like 20 minutes where the narrative just fucking stalls to a standstill. It would be like super bad. The movie stopped and they went back to school the next day. And then the movie started again for another 15 to 20 minutes after that. It's like, if you have a movie that takes place in one night, keep it there for the most part. That's what I learned watching this.
Now, this movie, I know they have a line at the end, like saying, like, "Will they run all night to save people or something?" Do you think it's titled Midnight Runners in America just to capitalize on people's memories of Midnight Run? I mean, it doesn't really fit the movie that much.
Yeah, I 100% I'm sure.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think this got an international release, but I'm sure they were just trying to do whatever they could.
Yeah. It did spawn a TV show, I guess, and a remake in India with 2 female leads.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
But it's a TV show?
And also a TV show in like South Korea. It spawned like a short-lived TV show, I guess.
And we don't do TV shows. We're just features.
We don't do TV shows. We could start with the Lethal Weapon TV series that was on for 3 seasons there that completely imploded, but I don't think we need to bring in TV shows into this.
No. So why do you think it's Palestine's fault?
I'm not going to answer because you don't answer shit.
I'm just
you're scared.
I'm not scared. Do you have any other notes on Midnight Runners?
How about Lucas? What do you think about Palestine and Israel? You gonna say anything? No.
I'm a Westerner. This is above my head.
It's not mine. Yeah. What do you think about abortion?
I'm pro-choice, of course. A woman should have control of her own body. But let's get back to Midnight
Why
Runner.
do you think people are against abortion? Because they hate women? Is that it?
I don't think that's it. I'm sure there are a lot of avenues where you can reach where your logic or your ethics don't align with mine. I'm sure. I'm not saying you're a bad person because what did you think? Do you have any more notes on Midnight Runners?
No.
Okay. You don't have anything else to say? Well, what are we doing next week? All right. Well, this was another episode, Buddies on Buddies. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Lucas Hill. That was Kenny Lane. And we'll be back in the next couple weeks here. And I don't know what we're doing next. He jumped off before we had a chance. We do have some cooking, though. And if you have any suggestions, you let us know. I'm Lucas Hill. That was Kenny Lane. And we're Buddies on Buddies.